We're looking basically for an outfit for you to wear when you
Yeah.
have sex with 100 guys in one day.
Yeah. These guys have all seen me online. Like, I can't turn up looking like a hag.
No. Will you just get like one, or will you get like a few?
I might get a couple in case one gets a bit soggy.
Yeah, I've left Lily to it. It's not actually, but I'm filming a video with a girl who's going to be sleeping with 100 guys in one day, and she is picking out her outfit for that day.
Oh, how interesting!
Yeah.
Does she find them on the internet?
Yes, so you can apply if you're a subscriber of her OnlyFans, and then the whole 100 of them get to have sex with her one at a time on the 19th of October in London.
Oh, and it's on television?
It's going to be on her OnlyFans.
Oh, I see. Okay. She's got to have an early night tonight.
Yes, she does. A lot of electrolytes, a lot of sustenance, a lot of fiber.
Lovely.
Okay. Have a great night. Lovely to meet you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Bye there. She seemed kind of okay with that, which I wasn't. We're looking basically what.
Where are we? Other than very, very, very far from Eden. Welcome back to Far From Eden, the YouTube channel. Good to have you guys here. I know that this is more than likely not the first you've heard of this case of this woman named Lily Phillips, who is an Only Fools content creator who decided to be very stunning and brave and strong and independent and sleep with 100 men in 24 hours. Not only is she doing that, but the reaction of those women on the streets, they weren't even surprised. They didn't even say, wait, what? What are you talking about? No idea. I'm sorry, I'm flustered. They were not shocked. They weren't disgusted. They weren't any of those things. And they were of, shall we say, an older generation. But clearly, it's one of those, no judgment, no judgment. Who am I to judge? Well, good for her kind of a thing. So that's where we are. And Newsweek magazine updated their article that they wrote about this situation. They updated it yesterday. We will go through that. And we're going to go through several more clips of Josh Peters. That was the gentleman we just saw. We're going to go through several more of clips from his documentary. He made a documentary on the fact that Lily Phillips is doing this. And I have some thoughts. As I said, I'm sure you've seen this before. I'm sure you've seen other people cover it. It's not something I want to talk about because I don't want it to be a thing. But this is not the fact that those women were reacting like this and that it's happening at all and that it's covered in Newsweek magazine, a magazine that my father used to have on our coffee table at home. It's the promiscuity of the women, the celebration of promiscuity in women, the framing that it is empowering, that it is the definition of freedom. It's not taking society down a good path. Now, I did say the promiscuity of the women. Now, I understand it does take two to tango, or 101 and her to tango. But women used to be, they are the gatekeepers of hanky-panky. They are. They always were. And they used to shame based off of how loose a woman seemed to be. That woman, that loose woman, would be shamed because It wasn't in women's best interest to have loose women running around, because they were a threat. The thinking was, if there are these opportunities for men to just, relieve themselves of their urges, then there would be no need for them to marry. And I think there must be some truth to that, because all it really took was feminism to say, guess what, ladies? How dare those men tell you to cover up? How dare those men tell you to close your legs? That's horrible of them. They don't care about you. They're holding you down. They hate you. When in reality, the rules were made for our safety, our protection, even protection from ourselves. And maybe 20 years ago, someone could have made an argument and said, well, what do you mean protection from ourselves? We don't need that. Clearly we do. It's being demonstrated right and left. This is not good for women. And I get it. It's not good for society, but at least the women need to start understanding it's not good for them. They've been bamboozled. That's just the truth of it. So let's see the next video.
You've obviously spoken to your parents about this, right?
I actually haven't. My parents know what I do, but I'm not on the phone to them every day going, oh, I just got DP'd, I'm 17 guys today,
Yeah.
or this and that. They don't need to know the logistics.
Of course.
I do feel a little bit like embarrassed being like, Mom and Dad, I'm 100 guys.
Why?
I guess because it's not really what my parents would have wanted me to do. Doesn't mean to say my parents are like going to disown me or hate me or anything like that. I just don't want them to think less of me. You know? Like we can still be like very close and stuff like that, but I just don't think they need to know like exactly every single detail.
But they'll find out, right?
Yeah, probably. Yeah. This is the thing I think with like my like career and stuff like that. We're not sat here talking about, oh, I filmed this with today, or I filmed this, because there's just no need. I remember my dad saying like, my friends talked about you, like seeing you on or something like that, and they know, but like there's just no point in being like, oh, I'm doing this or doing that.
Yeah.
And she's a decent looking girl, She's pretty, she's cute. And she talks about her parents. How are there actual parents in the picture? And this is what's happening. I don't understand. How? And she talks about they don't need to know. Well, why not? Huh? I mean, if it was any other job, you would maybe share things, like if you work for a coffee company or something, and you're like, oh, I'm going on a business trip and this is what I'm doing and I'm whatever. And her father said that his friends saw. I could sense a smidge of shame on her face. It's too bad there isn't more of a smidge. And like I was saying earlier, the rules were in place for us because of love. It's much like God's laws. They're not because he hates you. He's not. That's not what it is. It's not because he just doesn't want you to have any fun. It's because breaking those, like the top 10, right, tends to lead to bad things. Not out of a punishment, just out of natural consequences. It's just the way it plays out. And, the problem is we've done away with that in society. And because that's all oppressive and evil and, And even the people, even atheists nowadays are starting to see that a lot of these rules in the Bible actually are better for society and better for individuals. And here is an excellent example. This woman is an excellent example. She's become the poster child, in my opinion, the poster child for promiscuity.
I'm sleeping with 100 guys in a day.
Have you done anything to make sure there's not someone with a criminal record, for example, coming down?
We actually have not, no.
This is where the applications are coming through.
Where the guys are messaging.
I guess I'm here for the thing. I never really think about things before I do them, so I've just kind of do them and then think, oh, was that okay?
How long have you known or been a fan of Lily Phillips?
Since the beginning, I would say.
Did you ever think you'd be able to have sex with her?
No, never.
And today you did?
Yes.
Do you know how many guys have gone before you?
No idea. No idea.
Yeah, like example.
Well, look, I don't know. I just fall.
Are you happy you did it?
A little bit. I'm just a bit nervous for me to find out. My dad would kick me out straight away.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. So he seemed to have a little bit of regret, didn't he? Didn't he? Imagine there's 100 guys and you don't know the rest of them. You don't know the diseases. They haven't done a screening. Well, I think the report is, and I don't want to say for sure, so allegedly, the report is that she's come away with like 3 or 4 new diseases. They call them STIs now because we wouldn't want to call it a disease. Transmitted illness. It's an illness. It's not a disease. We wouldn't want to have the stigma, would we? I mean, that's the problem. We have removed the stigma. And it's not good. So let's have another clip here. And then we'll read a little bit of the Newsweek article before we see another one of these clips. It's so disturbing.
I can't really explain it. I get like serotonin, like from when people are like, oh my God, you're that on the internet. Sounds crazy.
I know, and I know you're saying that to me right here, but I don't believe that.
Really?
No.
I kind of love like ruffling feathers a little bit and people getting a bit like agitated by maybe the fact that I'm messed up. I can't really explain it.
I can explain it. Bad attention's better than no attention, right? Bad attention's better than no attention. So that's all before, right? So there are some clips from after, and I want to talk about those with you guys and what I think, what I can see in her, what I think I can see in her, because it's really sad. I think the regret is much more than she thought it would be. I find it interesting because these women have really high numbers, right? Because OnlyFans and all the rest of it. And I think it took the 100 in a day to maybe make her see. But we're going to talk about that after we see what Newsweek says. And like I said, this is updated. It was updated yesterday. It was updated to include further context and more information. The spelling of her name was also adjusted in several places. So that tells me that probably somebody reached out and said, no, and also her name is spelled wrong. Lily Phillips, 100 Men video sparks outrage. It's written by Billy Schwab Dunn, and Billy is spelled with an I-E, so it would be a female. Only Fools creator and adult actor Lily Phillips has caused outrage after a documentary about her sleeping with 101 men in one day was posted online. The 23-year-old went viral on TikTok in October after she revealed she was setting her goal of sleeping with 100 men in 14 hours. Oh my God, 14 hours. Phillips recently rented a 2-bedroom Airbnb in London to complete the mission, where she ended up sleeping with 101 men. YouTuber Josh Peters filmed what was taking place behind the scenes for his documentary, I Slept with 100 Men in One Day. Well, he's certainly the opportunist, isn't he? He's got to document these important things that happen. Although, I'm kind of glad he is, because I don't think it's giving her the attention she thought she'd get. So, it's bringing some shame. So I don't think shame is a bad thing. I really think it's corrective. While Phillips has previously said she was excited about the challenge, she appears vulnerable in the videos that were taken hours after the event. She can often be seen sniffling and at one point breaks down in tears. The footage has now sparked people calling for an Only Fools ban. Good. Newsweek emailed spokespeople for Phillips and Only Fools for comment on Wednesday. On Wednesday, ex-user Lois McLatch, a conservative media commentator, posted a snippet of the documentary. Quote, Lily Phillips reflects on her sadness after sleeping with 100 guys in one day, she wrote in the caption. Number 1. She's responsible for her own behavior in this sick stunt. Number 2, it's also clear OF have turned women into plastic dolls, and the new models themselves have bought this heartbreaking lie. Ban OF now. I mean, yes, OF has done that. OF has provided a platform, but these women have they are in charge. They are stunning and brave and strong and independent, and they've let us all know that ad nauseum, as you all especially know. You keep being reminded how you're not needed, your opinion's not wanted, they can do it all, they're a girl boss, and I'm sure a lot of you, and understandably so, are like, sorry, consequences of your actions. I get it. It is difficult to have empathy for her. I mean, it is. It's difficult. With everything we've been beaten over the heads with all the ways you guys have been beaten over the head, the men have been beaten over the head, you're not needed, you're not wanted, masculinity is toxic, don't tell us what to do, my body, my choice, right? Meanwhile, all of us women, we've been taught this is what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to be promiscuous. You're supposed to, don't be a pearl clutcher, and don't be judgmental, and don't have these opinions, and don't be a Puritan or a prude. That was what I was called. And so there's plenty of shame still out there. It's just shame the other way. That's the thing. At the time of writing, her post had been viewed 12.4 million times. In the video that McLatch, so the lady, not Lily Phillips's post, this lady's post had been seen 12.4 million times. In the video that McLatch shared, Phillips was teary after completing her goal, saying it felt robotic and she sometimes disassociated while having relations with these men. I mean, that's why, I'd imagine, but very, educated guess, that's why, women who, ladies of the night, if you will, are often, and women who take their clothes off and dance around, they often have drug problems. And I think a big reason is to sort of get through it, to disassociate. Well, if it's so wonderful, why would you need to disassociate? If it's just physical, if you're just a couple of meat sacks, made from stardust, the Big Bang accident, that's all there is, there's no God, there's no nothing, then why is it such a problem? Why is it so much more damaging than shaking hands or kissing even? Why is it such a big deal? They want to tell us over and over again, it's not a big deal. Apparently it is. And it's good that this has this is bringing it to light. That's what I want this to do. I just hope something good can come out of it. Even if it's more awareness, more reality that this promiscuity and this culture we have, this degenerate culture we have, is so, it's so destructive. It's just utterly destructive. Quote, I think by like the 30th man, you know, when we're getting on a bit, I've got like a routine of how we're going to do this, she said. And like sometimes you just disassociate and be like, you know, it's not normal relations at all. In my head right now, I can think of like 5, 6 guys, 10 guys that I remember, and that's it. But it's just, I don't know. It's just weird, isn't it? If I didn't have the videos, I wouldn't have known I've done 100. And we're probably going to see these videos and these clips that that Josh Peters has put on X. We're going to watch them after. I would imagine we're going to see some of this, her saying these things. I think that was kind of the hard part, is like conversing with them. When they kind of be like, oh, we've only had 2 minutes or 3 minutes, and you said 5 on the message. So did she make them stop before they were done, so to speak? Or were they done early and they were like, hey, I want my 2 extra minutes? Don't know. When Peters asked if someone said that to her, the Only Fools creator confirmed that someone had, which made her feel bad. Quote, do you think you should feel bad about that? Peters asked, to which Phillips responded while sniffing, I guess when you've promised something to people who support you, it's kind of hard to let them down. People who support you, lady, I don't think that word means what you think it means. In a follow-up question, Peters queried whether the OnlyFans creator had even processed what had happened. I don't think you can. Not yet, God. I won't forget this day. Jesus, she said as she wiped away tears. As she began to cry, a friend who was sitting nearby comforted her with a hug. On the day, Philip's personal assistant had booked in 200 men to account for dropouts. They scheduled 15 men an hour. From 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. Men were told they had a 5-minute slot. Ooh, bad choice of words. But this was later dropped to 2 minutes when she started running out of time. It's so gross. It's so gross. Phillips has now set herself the new target of breaking a world record of sleeping with 1,000 men in 24 hours. Why? Why? This is why I think. Because the average Only Fools creator makes $150 a month. When you remove the top creators, which is like 5-10 people that make, all that money, millions or whatever, it's pennies. So I think these women get into it thinking of the ones who make millions, thinking, okay, this is going to be easy. I'm going to be set for life, etc. It's going to be so glamorous. It's like being a movie star or whatever. And they want the attention. Obviously they want the attention and the validation that they think will come with it. It doesn't. It really doesn't. Have we had any women come out and really convince us of that? No. And believe me, if they were out there, the overlords would push them front and center and be, everything I say sounds bad, shoving them down our throats, because they would want, because that's what they want. They want this from women. This is exactly what they've been hoping for women to do. Okay. They included a photo of the call out. Oh yeah, I was talking about the pennies on the dollar. So, you go, okay, well, I'm not making a lot of money and I'm already doing this. I guess I need to do something extreme to break through, and then I'll be a big star, and then it'll be easy. I'm just not going far enough. So the stunts have to be bigger and bigger, and the things they do have to be more disgusting and more disgusting. And here we are, the 100 dudes. Because, now she's famous. Yeah. The thing that's crazy is the lady who has made the most, what is it, $43 million or something like that, she's made on OnlyFools. She's a pretend virgin. So she tells everybody she's a virgin, right? Because she knows that is a more attractive fantasy for men than this. Then, hey, I've been run through by everybody and their neighbor. But I guess maybe there's a reason she couldn't sell the innocent fantasy. Oh. They included a photo of the call out for men that Phillips posted online looking for men to participate in the record-breaking event of the year due to take place in January 2025. Other people's posts on X about Phillips were more delicate in their approach, with one person writing, quote, "I just watched Joshua Peters' documentary on OF star Lily Phillips, Sleeping with 100 Men in a Day challenge, and the way this absolutely broke my heart. She didn't think this through at all. She wasn't even aware of how HIV is transferred. This has to be some sort of self-harm." Elsewhere in the documentary, Phillips said sleeping with 101 men in such a short space of time was not for the weak. Quote, "I don't know if I'd recommend it. It's a different feeling. One in, one out. It feels intense," she said. That's one way to describe it. Gross. Wrong. What is the 100 Men documentary? The I Slept with 100 Men in One Day documentary, filmed by Peters and his team, delved into the life and career of the controversial OF model. It especially focused on Phillips' 100 Men in a Day challenge. While Phillips had shared her excitement for the stunt in a positive light, the documentary reveals how emotional she was after the fact. Originally shot in October, clips shared online show Peters documenting the aftermath of the session, with Phillips emerging from a bedroom in tears. Quote, "When I decided to start making this documentary, I wasn't too sure what to expect. I certainly didn't expect to see Lily so upset at the end of it all," Peters said in the documentary. And that, again, is a huge problem. He didn't expect that. Of course he didn't. We saw him on there. He's a young guy, probably early 30s maybe? He's been lied to his whole life too. I mean, he probably thinks, well, obviously she's enjoying it. I can tell you this. Look, there was we'll use the Whatever podcast again. There was this one time on the Whatever podcast where the women were asked a question or something came up where it was about, well, is the big O so, worth all this? And the women all laughed because the idea that they were having an O every time or most times that they had relations with a man was funny to them, that the men would even think that. But of course men think that because they're thinking, well, why else then? Why are you such a, 304? What's in it for you, if not the big O and all this pleasure? Very interesting question. This is not enjoyable physically for a woman. This didn't feel good for her. She didn't do it for that reason. It's all attention, and they think that these men want them, so they're desired, they must be valuable, it must mean something. Doesn't mean anything good. The controversial documentary has stunned people online, as Phillips is part of the shock mining trend of taking part in outrageous stunts for attention and followers, along with concerns over OnlyFools, a platform where people make more money than some of the highest paid sports stars. Only a handful, not that many. But it's a great way to lure unsuspecting women into it because they think they're going to make a quick buck. But what have we said before on this channel? Easy money is the devil's money. Celebrities such as Lily Allen, Denise Richards, Carmen Electra, and Cardi B have also turned to the website to make extra cash. Oh, I think some of them also went on there to try to prove they're still hot, because we have some ones that have definitely run into the wall. Who is Lily Phillips? Phillips is a 23-year-old OnlyFools creator from the UK who began her career in the adult entertainment industry at 18. Signing up for the subscription-based service, she has said she earned $2,552 in just 24 hours by filming solo content. Not long after this, she decided to drop out of Sheffield University, and at the beginning of 2024, she started filming porn with men. The everyday men she films with aren't paid. Instead, they agree to be filmed for her content. Instead of getting paid, they agree to be filmed for their. That's so funny. There's like, they don't get paid, but instead, they just do it. Sorry. Phillips' next goal, to sleep with 1,000 men in 24 hours, will be filmed and live streamed via her OnlyFools account. She aims to break the record of a woman named Lisa Sparks from Poland, who did that with 919 men in a day in 2004. What a slacker. She has said her parents are supportive of her work. Her mom and dad previously ran a cleaning company. Well, I wonder if they're going to clean up after all this. Because could you imagine the smell? Oh, bad. So bad. If I was wearing pearls, I would clutch them. Maybe I'll clutch my cross. I think we should clutch our pearls. I think we need to wear extra pearls just to clutch them in this situation. She has said her parents are supportive of her work, her mom and dad, the cleaning company, and made enough money to buy a variety of luxury cars and multiple properties. Interesting. Very, very interesting. So her parents were very successful, which makes sense. She's going to university, which a lot of people in the UK, it isn't like over here where everybody just goes to college. There's still more of a caste system over there than anything the United States could imagine. Yeah, they made enough money to buy a variety of luxury cars and multiple properties. According to the Daily Mail, Phillips' mom is her head of finance. Well, fantastic, Mom. You're an enabler. I mean, why don't you just be her, PIMP? Head of finance. So whose idea was this? Was this Mummy's idea? Ugh. People, look, this is what happens when you take God out of society. I understand that the MGTOW MGTOW and red pill and all of that. I understand that it is not generally the place to listen to God's word, right? I get that. But it's just not who I am. And I know there are so many men out there who are God-fearing men, Christian men. And I'm not talking about the ones that go to the feminized churches, I'm talking about the men who know right from wrong, know the truth, and can see the degeneracy all around us and the downfall of Christendom. They see it. And there's not a lot speaking, there's not a lot of voices speaking for that. And I just don't see how it can be separated. I also don't see how you can separate, what the overlords want and what the overlords have been planning ever since we first heard the word feminism, ever since Seneca Falls Convention in the middle of the 19th century, where the women wrote their list of grievances or whatever. It was like their Declaration of Independence from men and the patriarchy. And one of the things they wanted to do was destroy the nuclear family, because the nuclear family was oppression. This has been happening a long time. This did not start in the 60s. A lot of people will say, well, I think it went wrong in the 80s, or I think it went wrong in the 60s, or whatever. It's like, it was always wrong. You've just been lied to about what it's about. Because that way you won't see the whole thing as one big evil tidal wave. You'll just see it as, oh, this wave and that wave. And it's way worse than all that. Oh. Only fools models get rich, spark concerns. Phillips has said she's made more than 2.5 million through the site. While the platform may have helped provide Phillips with a kind of financial freedom that most of us can only dream of, many are concerned for her emotional, mental, and physical well-being. These days, OnlyFools is a saturated market, and people are going to extreme lengths to stand out. Phillips found success with a previous stunt where the prize was to have relations with her. The man who won even had his girlfriend waiting in the room next door. The man who, I heard that twice. Videos about this went viral online, and the success only spurred Phillips on, resulting in the aforementioned 100 Men in a Day challenge. In the documentary, she revealed that by the 60th man, she was almost ready to call it quits. Why? Why, Lily? Do tell. The aftermath left her emotionally shaken, sparking significant concern about her well-being and the broader ramifications of filming such OnlyFools content. This is what makes her decision to sleep with 1,000 guys in one day so difficult to comprehend. They're double down. They double down all the time. Have you guys ever spoken to a woman? We make a bad decision. We get questioned on it rather than go, oh man, I think that was a big mistake. I think this has all been a big mistake. How could people who love me encourage me to do this? I definitely want to stop. I think my whole life is going in the wrong direction. No, they don't say that. They go, no, I think it's great. I think it's made me a better person, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to do more. Oh, Phillips' stunt has rekindled discussions about mental health and societal pressures in the digital era. As clips from the documentary continue to be shared online, it raises concerns about the influence of extreme online content and the impact on young people who are willing to push their boundaries for profit. I'll tell you something. It's not extreme content. It's not the extreme content that is the problem. It's promiscuity in general. It's just that sometimes you have to show the extreme of something to make people see the truth of it at all. So let's have a look at some of the clips from after the so-called stunt.
When was the last time you ate?
I I think I had a yum yum, and then I think I had a sandwich, and that was kind of, and then the rest. It's not for the weak, girls. If I'm honest, it was hard. I don't know if I'd recommend it.
Why not?
I think if you're a different type of girl, it's very like, it's kind of like being a prostitute in a sense of like, it's just a different feeling. I don't know how to explain it. Like,
It's not like just having sex with someone.
yeah.
Okay. She said it's like being a lady of the night, one who gets paid for selling yourself. That's exactly what she did. That's exactly what it is. I mean, those guys didn't hand her 100 or whatever, but she's doing that with them in order to make money online. So, lady, that is what you are. And so what's wrong with that then? If all this is great and all this is freedom and you're doing this and there's no problem, then why would you even say that it's almost like being a lady of the night? This is denial. She's waiting for someone to say to her, you don't have to do this. You're better than this. You don't have to do this. What you felt there was you're being used. You're allowing yourself, allowing your body to be used as if there's no soul. But here's the thing. If there's nothing to hanky-panky, if there's nothing to people having relations, right? Then why would SA, right? Why would that sort of an assault be so much worse than a regular assault? Why is it so much worse? Why do women say, oh goodness, I'd rather see the bear because a man could SA me and I'd rather be ended than be SA'd? But why? Why? If it's just physical, it's just body parts, right? It's because there's something spiritual going on. Think about it. That literally creates life. A life can be created through that action. It's not nothing. It's not just, we just did a thing. There's so much more going on. And that's why she can't put words to it. That's why. Because the idea of anything spiritual, the idea of a soul is so foreign to her, she can't find words to express the brokenness, to express the pain, to express how icky it felt, because that's why it felt wrong. She can't understand it because she doesn't know why it would feel wrong based on everything she's been taught and everything she believes. And I haven't sat down with her to find out what she believes. You look at what people do and things like this, and you know what they believe. Anyway, let's continue. See more wisdom here.
Just one in, one out, like it feels intense.
Like more intense than you thought it might.
Definitely.
When was the last time you ate?
I had I think.
Okay. So some of this is what the quotes we read, but it sure does seem different when you see her actually saying it. And did you guys notice, like, they talked about her demeanor a little bit in that article, but they sure didn't, they kept a lot of things out that would lead you to believe this is very, very bad and very, very wrong to do.
Have you ever received any scary message on here that, like, something that frightened you or made you feel unsafe?
Some people's requests are sometimes way too much. Like, I had literally last week, like, can you put a bag over your head and pretend to be, like, suffocated? It depends obviously on the request, but stuff like that I probably won't do. I don't want to encourage it. Like that, for me, I don't think that's doing helping
What if someone
society.
offered you $1 million to do it?
I probably would bend my morals for that, yeah.
Yeah, me too.
Okay. Well, that spoke volumes, didn't it? she'd bend her morals for $1 million. Okay. Well, that was the last one of that. I think he's taken down ones where she's crying. Let's watch the preview, okay, that he's been showing everyone. Oh, that's not the preview. Hold on a second. I'll fix it. I don't want to watch the thing. Okay. So the last clip we're going to see is actually before she did it. It's her hope for other women. I wonder if she'd say this after as well. I wonder. Well, no, because afterwards she said it's not for the faint of heart, right? But here's what she said beforehand. And this is, again, we give bad advice to other women all the time. Here, case in point.
Have you noticed any sort of feelings of competition from like the industry since you said that you were going to do this?
You know what? I saw one other girl put a post up saying she's going to do it as well, which I don't mind being trendsetter. That doesn't bother me. I hope other girls like follow my path and things like that and do what they want a little bit more.
Have you
want a little bit more? Yeah, because what is it again? Oh, yeah. Do as thou wilt. Do as thou wilt. Well, if you've enjoyed this video or at least appreciated my commentary on it, please hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I'd really appreciate it. And share the show anywhere you think it might help. I do think we need to start calling out the things that are bad, and just calling it for what it is. It's evil. It's evil, and it causes destruction. Before the fall of many great civilizations, you see a descent into degeneracy. You see a descent into promiscuity, all the other things that you guys know what they are. I don't have to say them. I don't think it's worth being banned and having the message, extinguished. So I appreciate you guys being here with me. Remember, in the end we win because Christ is King. And he's still on the throne, even though it looks like this. So please, you guys, protect your peace. Feed your souls. I love you. And I'll see you on the next one.